The First English Civil War (1642–1646) was a seismic conflict that irrevocably changed the course of British history, rooted in decades of tension over power, religion, and money between the monarch and Parliament. Its complete explanation must trace the origins, detail the events of the war, and cover the immediate aftermath, all without section headings and within the word limit. The core cause was King Charles I's unwavering belief in the divine right of kings, meaning he believed he was accountable only to God. This clashed directly with the growing demand by Parliament for a constitutional monarchy where royal power was limited by law, especially concerning taxation and military control. The conflict was exacerbated by Charles's personal rule 1629–1640, during which he governed without Parliament, resorting to deeply unpopular and legally dubious levies like ship money to raise revenue. This 11-year period, labeled the 11 Years Tyranny by his opponents, solidified Parliament's resolve to curb his authority. Religious differences were equally inflammatory. Charles I and his Archbishop, William Laud, promoted High Church Anglicanism, emphasizing ritual and ornamentation. To many powerful Puritans in Parliament, this smelled dangerously of Catholicism, or Popery, a fear fueled by the king's marriage to the Catholic French princess, Henrietta Maria. The breaking point was Charles's attempt to impose a new prayer book on Presbyterian Scotland, triggering the Bishops' Wars 1639–1640. Defeated and broke, Charles was forced to recall Parliament in 1640, which became the Long Parliament that would ultimately destroy his rule. The Long Parliament immediately enacted radical reforms to strip the king of his powers. They passed the Triennial Act, requiring Parliament to meet at least every 3 years, and abolished the king's prerogative courts and ship money. In May 1641, they secured the execution of Charles's most loyal minister, the Earl of Strafford, by an act of attainder. A major crisis followed in November 1641 with the Irish Rebellion, which raised the critical question of who controlled the army. The final push to war came in January 1642 when Charles, in a massive constitutional blunder, marched into the House of Commons with an armed guard to arrest 5 leading MPs, including John Pym. Failing in this, he fled London, and both sides began raising armies based on the Militia Ordinance Parliament and the commissions of Array King. The war formally began on the 22nd of August 1642 when Charles raised his royal standard at Nottingham. The royalist forces, the Cavaliers, drew support from the north and west, the aristocracy, and the gentry. The parliamentarian forces, the Roundheads, controlled the economically richer south and east, including the crucial city of London and the navy. The first major battle was the inconclusive Battle of Edgehill, October 1642. Royalist forces, led by the king's nephew Prince Rupert, had the upper hand in 1643, winning major victories like the capture of Bristol and the Battle of Roundway Down. However, the war shifted decisively in Parliament's favor in 1644. Parliament cemented a crucial alliance with the Scottish Covenanters, who provided a large army under the Solemn League and Covenant, September 1643. This coalition inflicted a crushing defeat on the Royalists at the Battle of Marston Moor, July 1644, securing the north of England. Recognizing the need for a more professional force, Parliament created the new Model Army in 1645, a centralized, disciplined force led by Sir Thomas Fairfax and his brilliant cavalry commander, Oliver Cromwell. The new Model Army delivered the fatal blow at the Battle of Naseby, June 1645, effectively destroying Charles's main army and turning the tide irreversibly. The Royalist strongholds fell one by one, culminating in the siege of their capital at Oxford. The First Civil War ended on 5 May 1646, when King Charles I surrendered to the Scottish army at Newark, hoping to leverage them against the English Parliament. He was later handed over to Parliament in January 1647 for a large payment. His capture, however, did not resolve the core constitutional issues, as Charles refused to compromise on a political settlement, setting the stage for renewed conflict.